Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our August product update webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Today, we will be presenting version 50.6.2, which was just released like this morning. So our timing is just perfect. My name is Rosalie. I'm Customer Success Manager at Client, and I will be your host today. And as always, we have Yannick. Hi, Yannick, our CEO.
Hey, Rosalie. Exciting. Yeah, it's been just out for everybody today, but we've been playing around with this release, and it's quite feature-packed and exciting release. So yeah, it should be a good one.
Yep. And our Customer Success Manager, Isabel, will be answering your questions in the Q&A and chat, as always. Little reminder, if you want to make the most of the webinar, just make sure you participate to the polls, use the react buttons, and ask questions in the chat or Q&A, whatever you prefer. Before we move on, we want to do a little poll to get started and get to know who's joining us today. So is this your first client webinar? Yes. No, I'm a regular. No, I've been to a couple. I'm expecting maybe some people that joined client a couple of weeks ago, and now the summer is over. Maybe we have a couple first-time attendees or not. All right, so perfect. It looks like most people are regular, but we do have a few new faces. So welcome to you if this is your first time. And thank you for answering the poll. And let's move on. Perfect. So what do we have on the agenda for today? Yannick is gonna demo most of our notable new features and improvement from this new version. And then we'll talk a little bit about our product roadmap and what's coming up in the next release. And then just to talk about, the release notes. Because the version we're presenting today was actually released today, I don't expect anyone to have already gone through those notes. If you already did, great job. I love the motivation. But otherwise, you can always check up our release notes from the community. Isabel is going to drop the link to our release notes in the chat. And then also just a reminder, always look for those red light emoji. As you can see, for this release, there's 6 upgrade considerations. So that's quite a lot. Don't be scared. But just make sure if you're system admins to really read through those upgrade considerations. It means you have to actually do something special too.
It's really just if you want to benefit from the new functionality, which there's a lot that we do recommend. So, but if you don't do something here, it won't break anything. So you should be good to go.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, so let's actually get started. So these are our notable new features and improvements. Most of our new features you can see are in the timesheets and related to resource planner. And then we also have a small improvement in the workspace, as you can see. And then we have quite a big one, project status report, which is now customizable. We'll spend a little bit of time on that. And that's kind of it. So very focused.
We're focused. Still a lot to show, and
it's a lot, but it's focused.
A lot of ideas delivered for the customer. So that project status report is one of the first idea we picked from the idea exchange. So exciting about this.
Perfect. And as we're gonna start talking about our very first feature, which is the Salesforce Events Calendar Sync, we just wanted to start with a quick poll just to know where people are at. So is your Google or Microsoft Calendar already synced with Salesforce? This is just going to help us, know where you're at right now. I'll just leave you a couple more minutes and I'll actually share the results for that one. So it looks like, no, most people, the majority of people said, no, it's not synced, but we do have a couple of customers that have it synced. Which means
and they changed a little bit the model on the Salesforce side about that sync, so it's getting more powerful with AI on top. But some of the previous interface we had, some don't exist anymore. This being said, it doesn't matter for this release. It does matter, but for the feature I'm going to demo, it's going to be pretty much calendar agnostic, whatever you are syncing to Salesforce or not. Okay, so. Time to go, Rosalie, to demo that first functionality. So this is my timesheet. What we're going to be looking at, it's really the calendar integration. So it's a new component that we've dropped so far. The best way that we surface information for you to know what you should be logging time on and you must be familiar with this button, is the copy from schedule, which is looking at your assignment schedule and is bringing you up all the project or tasks that you're assigned on. And with our different columns here, you can see, for example, that I'm scheduled 6.6 hours on this specific reporting and scheduling task. So far, how much hour I've been logged, etc. And also if you want to see the breakdown of those hours across, so that security risk assessment should be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have that task component that we trigger. But we know that schedule doesn't always represent reality, right? So quite often you're gonna be your calendar is gonna be driving some of your to-do lists. And as your calendar is going to be also driving what you should be logging in your timesheet. So we're bringing up this new functionality that calendar sync on the My Timesheet UI. Let me just refresh my page real quick and go back 1 week. And we can look, and what we can see in here is that we can see all our different calendar events that we have. Now it's syncing with the Salesforce calendar. So for the people that have that sync with the Google or Microsoft calendar, you're going to be able to benefit from it. In our next release, we're going to be able to connect to Google Calendar, and the release after is going to be Microsoft Calendar. This being said, this is a representation of your calendar. You can see those meetings in blue that you add or that you have, and the one in green, it means that it's been added to your timesheet. So what's cool with this is, let's say I add that pre-sales meeting just to help one of my colleagues, but I need, with my company, they asked me to log even my pre-sales call. So I'm going to pick up my Acme pre-sales project. As an architect, it's a non-billable hours. And you can see from the bottom as well that the note has been pre-populated with the name of the event, plus the duration as well has been pre-populated with the length of the event. And just like this, I can easily add this line to my timesheet here on top. And you can see in yellow because I haven't saved yet, but let's go ahead and just save it. And as soon as I save it, it reverts to green, meaning that now I have my new line of work being tracked and recorded, meaning that it's going to be a lot easier for you to do that conversion. I know a lot of people are tracking with calendar what they're doing. They're looking at their meeting, but now it's going to be in one simple screen. Pretty cool, huh?
Yep. I think during our internal webinar, Yannick, you were really excited about that one and called it a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, it does look pretty. And if you add to delete, for example, this specific line and everything follow, right? So the line is going to be delete, reverted to blue. And we're going to bring, this is our first release. We're going to add those two connectors I've mentioned, so Google and Microsoft. So we're going to talk about it again, but also we're going to add functionality on top. So first exciting release.
Yeah, and for those few people that said their calendar is synced, you'll have a chance to test it out. Let us know, like, if you have any feedback. We're really eager to hear from you. So yeah.
Okay, next one. You might have seen here, there's a new button, View Rejected Times, that's showing with number 3. So let me go back 1 week. And you can see here in my timesheet, I'm just going to remove some of my component. You can see here from my timesheet that I have 2 red cells. And if I hover on top of it, there's a note meaning put a meaningful notes on it, meaning those timesheets have been rejected. You can see from the icon here on the left too. So they've been rejected. I have 2 of those in this specific timesheet. But you can also, oops, I have an error, it seems. So let me go back in again. Very sorry about that. Okay, so you can see here that I have my red lines here, and I have review rejected time, which is number 3. So for those 2, I can just go ahead and instead of having the test, change it to something else. But I have that button now that I can click. That's going to bring you all those 3 lines. The 1 with test here with the put a meaningful note, but also other lines that you might have in the past that's been rejected. So for example, in this one, the note is the customer said we can't work on this anymore. I've logged 8 hours, so let me switch it to maybe my internal project for do I have it here? It's not here. Let me put it again on my Acme pre-sales, let's say, and as a non-billable, and then I can just go ahead and resubmit it, resubmit that specific line to be able to track that that new information and that new line via that rejected button. So now we're back to those two lines that I need to resubmit. This work with our approval process on top, and it does help you really try figure out if you do have some splits that's been rejected. So maybe a quick comment for customers. This works with the split mode of approvals, which is enabled by custom settings.
Yeah. This is also a good reminder that you should definitely have approval processes set up in Client. If you don't have those yet, please go set it up. It is a best practice. We even have a course, e-learning course on approval processes. So this, of course, only works if you have that in place.
Perfect. So this is the approval approval set of things, and you've saw me play with some of the toggles. Now we've introduced this toggle as well. That's going to allow you to remove or show that schedule versus bill information in your timesheet. Before it was only controlled by a custom settings. Now we are giving you the ability to just toggle it. So if the custom setting is on, you're going to be able to have that button on your page. And again, those are kind of matrix and columns that we're bonifying. So the timesheet is going to be receiving a lot of love in the next few release, a little bit on every release. But those control of fields are going to be very useful also.
Yannick, just to mention, to go back to the approval, the splits, we have a question which someone is asking, like, will it eventually be possible to view rejected times if we don't have approvals by split?
This could be a possibility. It's not on the roadmap yet. For now, it's enabled by split. Maybe, yeah, we can double check if there is something already available. Otherwise, it could be one of the ideas to vote on. We're not too far away. We can also just evaluate the effort and see if we can make it easily. But yeah, good point. Good question.
All right.
Okay. On the My Timesheet side, if I'm going back to the deck, it's a bit full slide, but there's a few things that have been delivered. So in the last release, when you if you recall, if you have a full week of vacation of PTO submitted, it was auto submitting it. So this way, there's nothing falling into the cracks. So if you were not there during that week, during your holiday, you didn't have to come and submit it. So some customers said that they didn't want it to be this way by default. So we just added a custom settings to have it on or off. So by default, it's going to be off. If you want to put it on, you can go to auto submit timesheet on TO approval. And we've introduced that custom settings. And the other one that we've just introduced is that, and I'm not sure if we have some APR folks on the call today, but this is for them. It's one of their ideas. So the missing timesheet notification, now you can use custom emails template. You can see here on the left side, there's another configuration custom setting that you can change the ID of your email template. So if you look on the right side, this is our standard email template. You can clone it, make some change to it, change the image, change the text, and then just take the ID here and put it in the custom settings, and the missing timesheet notification, the send to sender, and the incomplete timesheet notification can be controlled by those email templates. So it's finally delivered. Okay, next, resource planning. So we did add a few functionality on the resource planner, on the global resource planner, but also on some of the project resource planners. If we were going to our global one, and let me just go back 1 month. We've added a few toggles. So toggles, the intent of this schedule mode of a resource planner, it's really to see what's been scheduled mainly in the future, but we've added functionality to also see the past very well. So past scheduled utilization, but also actual hours. So we have those toggles. And now we're adding more because just to control a bit more the visibility. So for example, if you focus on those cells here on the left side, July, the bottom part. So if you're looking and I'm toggling the hide completed task, you can see that the total of hours is changing because in the past you would only see the open task because it was for mainly future scheduling. But now because we want you to see the past, we have those toggles. So you can hide completed project, but you can hide completed task now. So this is new in this release. The other toggle we've introduced, and this one I'm guessing it might be a temporary toggle, but because now you can realign schedule with what has been worked, and also because we're tracking timesheet split now with the schedule, sometimes it happens that you have some 0 hours schedules in your view, and by default now this hide 0 hours will be on. This being said, we have a few customers that take notes on the schedules, so we cannot just hide them forever. We need a way for those customers to be able to see it. So that's why we introduced that hide 0 hour toggle. But usually in main scenarios, it should be left on by default.
Yeah, and don't forget, like all these toggles can be saved as presets. So
Always.
as always.
So the next one, let me just use one of those toggles to display my actual hours. So you can see now that I have my hours showing next to my schedule hours. And if I'm opening up my resource for Sun Green, now I can see that I have the schedule hours 16, but now I have my 38 hours. We can now configure the color of this logged hour. So this is now part of our color configuration. So you can now configure it the color you want. So it's going to be better for you to just align everything in terms of your color coding for your business.
Yeah, and on the last release as well, a few releases ago, we talked about color mapping and we kept adding new things in there. We actually have an article that we created, and Isabel is going to share it in the chat, but it shows you the recommended default value for all the color mapping that we've mentioned. So if it's still all white for you, or if you're just looking for a model, just have a look at that article.
So it's not the default was not white, it was aggressive red, aggressive orange.
Whatever it was.
Okay, the next functionality in terms of the resource planning is the distribute schedule evently. So when you're planning on the Gantt and in other UI, you could do it distribute evently the number of hours, and we brought this functionality back on this specific interface of the planner. So let's say I have my managed services here, my project managed services. I know I need for the month of October and November, I'm going to need to work 100 hours on this project. So I can just easily create my range of dates, select that I'm going to work 100 hours. And now I'm not sure about the exact schedule, but I would just want a peanut butter spread that those hours across those 2 months. So on an existing task, I can just go ahead and do it. In the past, you could do it when you initially created the task, but you cannot do it on the spot like this. It does show me 56 hours and 43 because actually what it's scheduling on, it's on a week basis. So if I'm going back to those week in October, let's say I'm starting October 1st, you're going to see that I have 12.20 every week up to the last day of November with a few hours on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the week before. But everything has been split across daily actually. So this is the new mode, align, distribute evenly directly from the planner. Don't forget as well that those are groups now, right? So you can move groups, you can delete groups, you can unbreak your groups. So don't forget that the right click is very useful a lot of places in the software.
Yeah, like if your organization is using the resource planner a lot and you haven't upgraded since like a couple of months, like go do that. It's definitely worth it with all the stuff we like release every version. Yeah.
Yeah, that have changed, that still coming, but those are very efficient and tools that's gonna save you a ton of time and but also give you a clearer picture and of the reality, future reality. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is the compare. We do add a compare schedule and a compare skills interface, but it was kind of hidden in the project resource planner. So now you can see, for example, that in my schedule, I can see that I have this pink project in pipeline that's been assigned to me for the month of December and January. But actually, I'm planning to be off the entire month of December. I didn't tell my boss yet, so they scheduled me. So before going to see my boss, probably it's better to see if somebody is available to cover me instead. So now we brought that new icon that you're gonna find here in the Global Resource Planner, but also in the Project Resource Planner. So this is gonna be the new way to access to this interface, which bring you all your different project manager in your system that you can, if you recall, filter and add more resource to it. The effort that's required for the project we just saw, and then the schedule of your colleagues to see who can do it or not. From the get-go, we see that Tracy can do it. And that's a neat feature as well, that if you use the remaining availability, it's going to subtract what they had available minus what is required to tell you how much is going to be left after you book that resource. So as you can see, everybody is tight. I should go see my boss right now to ask for my month vacation. Otherwise, the team might not be able to tackle this project at all. So this is what the compare resource does. You were not able to do it from the global resource planner in the past. And now we brought it on the project level of the different assignment of your resources. This is also a pretty cool interface. I didn't show you skills. I think we showed skills enough in the past webinar. Okay, while we're still on this interface, let's just go through looking at the filters. So if you have that filters list, if you recall, there's different things that you can filter around. So, but there is some value that are lookups, but some are based on pick lists, and you needed to remember what was those value. Now, when you're going to click on some pick list value, you can just select which project you want to see, or if there is the project status is going to be the same thing. You don't need to recall what were your projects, but you can just select it from a pick list instead of trying to search for it. It's still the case for a lookup value. So account, you still need to start and search, but for at least the pick list, it's simpler than ever to use our filters.
And we've added so many filters in the last releases, so that's actually good timing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always zooming in and out, so that's why I'm sorry, I'm refreshing my interface often. The next one would be to be looking at something outside of the planner, but still that relates to scheduling.
Yep.
So it's our functionality about aligning the schedule with logged hours. That's available from here in one of the button. So now we've this UI existed, but now we've added the availability to select your date range. So if you recall what this does, it look at what you've logged in terms of hours, and it's going to align the schedule hours. And if you were scheduled and you didn't log any time, it's going to wipe it to 0, like we were discussing before. But now you can say that I'm gonna do it, but from the beginning of the project, which is the start date, and I can do it up to today if I just want to keep my future intact, but I could also wipe it for the future as well. So now you can select it. Plus, when you're using the per task, because this was for the entire project, if you want to do it per task, we're gonna show you in yellow which one are not aligned in terms of what schedule and what's got logged. So we have that layout that's going to help you as well to align schedule versus log with the visual representation of those lines.
Yeah. So what's new is the color. Yeah, the color bit.
Okay. So I think we've done pretty much everything on this one with the highlight mismatch like we just showed.
Yeah.
Good. We're well on time as well. So we have the workspace left, project status, and then I have you have an important question that we don't want to know about your social media consumption. So I'm gonna make sure that we have some time left for this. This one is pretty neat, but very simple. In our global workspace, so let me go back to our workspace. In the global workspace and every local workspace, In the past, there was a few filters that you could right click and do a few fields that you could right click and do a filter. So let's say I just want to see my in progress or a few of my task type. I can just filter it this way. Now we added the support of checkbox as well. So if you want only to see the billable project, you're going to be able to see and use those filter. You can always clear your filter. There's an icon here on the left side as well to clear all your filters. Yeah, we added the support for any checkbox or Boolean field that you have in the platform to be able to easily filter through those. So we also, depending on what you want to do, it might be give me only the over budget, only the one that have some hours log, no, but you're not hours log, but overdue. So you can play around with that new filter.
Perfect. And I think we're at our very last feature. And for that one, we actually want to do a quick poll that's going to help us there. So the last feature is about the project status report. So we just want to know if you're using it. So yes, you're using it in client. Yes, you're using it, but you're doing it some other way outside of client. No, you're not using it, but would like to. No, you don't want to use it, or you don't even know what project status reports are. I think you do, but hopefully everyone does. But all right, so that's kind of the introduction. I'll pass the baton to you, Yannick, but it looks like most people said they're not using it, but they would like to. So hopefully after today's demo, everyone is going to be convinced that they should set that up in client. Thanks for answering.
And that's actually why we went ahead and developed this functionality, because people are not using it because there was lack of configuration possible, but now you're going to be able to pretty much do everything. And this release, it's all about the configuration. Next release is going to be about the look and feel of the PDF. So we're going to even increase or beautify our PDF of project status in the next release. So for this one, you have a new object now that's going to be called project status configuration. So if you open up this new object, it's going to be empty when you start. So if you don't have anything, we're going to use the default value that we were using in the past. So you don't have to do anything with that upgrade consideration. If you want to start using it, you need to create new records for this. Okay. You can see here that I have a few that I've created in this the example. So, for example, the different project types are, for example, internals or customer full transparency and customer limited visibility. So, depending on if it's an internal project, I have two project statuses. But for a project type of customer full transparency and the limited visibility, you're going to be able to pick those and you decide what you want to show. Let me zoom out for this one. So all those checkboxes, it's for example, display last week task. So those are all the different components that we already had in the system. So display current week task, but also there is the issue, the milestone. So you can say if you want to see it or not. But also you're going to be able to define which field set per project type you want to use for your project. But not only for your project, you're going to be able to define the field set. So which column you want to see for the project, which column you want to see for the current week task, last week task, the issue, the milestone, and the rest. So you have full control of what you're showing in terms of your project statuses. And the way it works, if we open up one of our projects, that Acme SaaS implementation project, which is defined as a time and expense project, but with customer full transparency. It's a billable project. When I'm going to generate the project status report, based on my configuration, it's going to show me a subset of fields. And here at the bottom, it's going to show me a subset of groupings or related information, including the milestone, the issue, and the rest. Okay. So let's say this project is actually we don't want to do the full transparency with this one. We want to provide only limited visibility. So I can change the project type. And if I'm going back and regenerate that project status report, you're going to see now that it's not at all the same project status report. There's a lot less fields that we're seeing here. we're only seeing milestone, issue, and risk. We don't see the current task. So this might be more relevant for a fixed fee project, for example, because you don't want to show hours, you don't want to show budget, you don't necessarily want to show which task you've worked on, but you just want to show overall the different dates if there is any blocker. So this is a good example for a fixed fee project. Okay, all this is going to be also reflected in the PDF. We'll talk about the PDF in the next release.
Yeah.
So far, so
And
good. I didn't see any thumbs up. I'm hoping that you guys like the flexibility on this interface. Now let me show it on an internal project, a non-billable project, because if you recall, two project statuses related to internal type projects. So if we're looking at the project type, it's internal. So for those two, when you have more than one project status report, it's going to tell you the one that you have. So we had two, and I can select which one I want to show. So for internal, we're giving the availability to have a few options, for example. So if I want to show what is a non-billable customer work internal project, I'm going to show the project summary, current week task, and last week task, but not the rest. While if it was a training or I want to see the training view for the project, I could do it. So this means as well that you can use the status report for internal project as well. So we can see there's 3 hours that's been logged on non-billable customer work. So you can play around with those value as well as even for internal project. But I wanted to show you that interface that's asking you to pick up which project status you want to. If you have more than one for a time and expense project, you might have different version. So your project manager can decide which one to send. So you're not limited to only one per project type.
which is one of the complaints we had gotten from customers. So now there's no excuse anymore not to use their project status report.
Exactly.
And if I can add as well, for those that says they want to set up project status report, in the release note from this version, like there's really good detailed release notes for the customizable project status report with screenshots and arrows and everything. So it's really well done. Our product team always does a good job with the release note, but these ones are particularly very good. So have a look at it, definitely.
Excellent. So this is in terms of bigger functionality. This is what we had for this week, this month. Still a lot for only a month, but we also have a lot of other improvements, Rosalie.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a couple of those we've added in the line. These are all the ones that are also available in the release notes. And you have direct links to all of them as well. And I think the next slide is for the fixes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there you go. So you have the full list as always. We won't go into details with those. And then just quick poll, just because we want to know which ones everyone is most excited about, which feature we presented. So you can just go and quickly select the ones that you're excited to check out. So a couple with timesheet, couple with resource planning. We have a little bit of a less complicated poll than usually. And we also want to know if you already upgraded to our latest version, which I'm assuming nobody did yet because it was released this morning, but you never know.
Very hopeful.
Really eager people in the webinar. So I'll just leave the poll a little bit there. And then we can start talking about the ideas, but I'll just leave that one on the side. All right, so ideas voting and product roadmap. So as a reminder, as always, we invite you to vote for your favorite ideas. Right now, we have 25 ideas that are up for voting in our community. So it's, again, very well indicated, but you just need to go in the ideas tab and you can sort it by the most recent if you want to see the most recent ones. This month, our team actually retained 2 ideas. So the project import wizard, create project and task template without assignment, and shocker, another feature, another idea related to project status report. So issue list improvements. So yeah, you may get the hint that we're trying to improve our project status report from this. So this is what our team has selected from the ideas and will be developing in the coming weeks or months. All right, and then if we move on to our roadmap. Yeah. So again, you can access our product roadmap anytime from the community, from the roadmap tab. It's always updated just before the webinar every month. And there you can see what's coming up. So in the little blue rectangle is what's coming for the next release, which will be around September 19th. So these we already talked about in other webinars, the one coming on the next release. They're all from ideas that were quite popular. A couple of other things that are coming up in following release, just in a nutshell, we have optimization with QuickBook Purchase Sync. So we did a little bit in the past release, we just continued that work. Our team is also working on a client Jira app to log time. I don't know if any of the Jira people are on the webinar. If so, I would expect some like thumbs up and hearts, but this is something that comes up from customers. The project status report, general look improvement. So Yannick mentioned it earlier, we're working on that. Last time we talked about mass update fields in the workspace, which this one I'm really excited about. That's coming up. And then of course the timesheet calendar, Google Outlook sync, and then more resource planner color improvements. Yeah, and so we have a little bit from every interface, I think, from there. I don't know if there's anything else
We
you
had
want
a question about how many votes does an idea need in order to be implemented. We know, and I'm wondering which one it is, but we know that we have a few ideas on top that have a lot of votes.
Yeah.
They will be implemented, but those are more effort driven in terms of what requires. So it needs to have a proper timing to be able to develop those efficiently. They are on our mind. That we know customer and our CS team are pushing for those top ideas to be developed right away. It's just we need to find a proper timing. They will be, yeah.
Yeah, but to be clear, like if one of the top ideas was like not that much work for the dev team, for sure it would be implemented, right? It just happens to be the ones that are on top. It takes a little bit more time. So
Yeah.
perfect.
There's another good question about prompt-based scheduling. It's a new kind of a schedule. It's not a new scheduling mode, but it's to remove some conflicts or friction between the planner and the Gantt or the workspace. So meaning that if you move something, we're gonna prompt you and say, "Watch out! You're gonna also you want to reschedule. You only want to reschedule this." So this is a bigger one. Yeah, there's a few good ideas as well in this. Plus, I'm not sure if you have another slide about AI, Rosalie, but in the next webinar, we're going to be able to talk a bit more about where we're going with AI. It's been on our mind. We haven't released anything yet, but it's coming. So we most likely next webinar, we're going to be able to talk about our AI roadmap also.
Perfect. Now we're, moving on. Yeah, just a little reminder, the next webinar is on September 25th, but now is the time that's the moment you were waiting for, Yannick. You want to know about the content from customers. So if you can just take a couple of seconds, we have a lot of content, we develop a lot of content. This webinar is like one thing we do every month, but other than that, we've been trying a couple of different things, and we just want to make sure as a team, we put our energy to the right place when it comes to like client content. So we want to know 3 things from you. Where do you want to follow us on social media? So we have like a full list, but if you're eager to follow us somewhere else, just let us know in the chat. So just select what applies to you. We also want to know what would be your preferred format. So do you prefer video, webinar, podcast, blogs, etc.? So whatever you prefer. And then the last thing we want to know is the content type. So are you looking for customer success stories, how to, release notes, etc.? We're open to doing all of these if they're the choices.
We're trying to do all of these. It's a lot of effort, but I was thinking that before trying to go crazy and build our Reddit page, if there's no one of our customer on Reddit, maybe or Discord, then maybe we should not be there. But yeah, looking forward to see your results. This is going to help us decide what we want to do content-wise.
Yeah, and some of these things we're already doing, or we already have a presence, but some of them is just like we have nothing. So yeah, would be good to know. So I'll leave that one
for
on
answering.
And then otherwise, like for the webinar, that's pretty much it. The next thing will be like when you close the webinar window, you'll have like a prompt to fill in webinar feedback. So we just want to know like how we did today, anything we can improve. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you in September. Now there's no excuse, summer is over, so maybe there was a little bit less people in the summer, but we hope to see like a lot of you in September. And that's kind of it. Anything else, Yannick, you want to add?
No, it's been great. Thanks to the team. Thank you, Rosalie, and thank you for our customer to be here and listening to our new functionality. Hopefully, this is gonna help you streamline your business.
Perfect. So I'll end the recording, but I'll leave the webinar open if you want to finish answering that poll. That's very crucial to us.
Thank you.